So today we're going to talk about the academic skills training program and specifically how that builds resilience. Um, Resilience and readiness is a big, it's a big buzzword right now, and we want to essentially let folks know sort of how that pertains to our course. For those of you who don't know, academic skills training program is actually delivered through an online academic skills course, and we refer to that as OASC. Next slide. Okay, so first we're going to do an icebreaker. This is helpful for you, but it's probably more helpful for me. So we're going to go ahead and do our first poll question. If I could have Emily pop that up for us. Okay, so which service branch are you representing? You have Army, including Army National Guard, Reserve, Air Force, Navy, Marine Corps, Coast Guard, DoD, or non-DoD. Select the one that best applies to you. This is helpful for both myself and Farah so that we know more about the audience that we're speaking with. We could also mention things that might be of particular interest to different service branches, whether it be the Army or the Marine Corps. We'll give everyone a couple minutes or just another minute to fill that out. And speaking of ice breaking, I know there have been storms in central Midwest, so I hope everybody is nice and toasty and weathering those with a cup of hot cocoa. Okay, what service branch are you representing? Great, we've got folks from Army, we've got a chunk of folks from Air Force, Marine Corps, Coast Guard, and DoD. Thank you all for being here. I really appreciate that. That also helps us know kind of how to tailor this presentation to the audience. Okay. Next slide.
I think there's one more icebreaker question.
Oh, okay. All right. So my apologies. Next icebreaker. Oh, so how many academic skills training webinars have you attended in the past 2 years? This is your first one, and if it is, welcome. Thank you for attending. 1 to 4, 5 to 9, or over 10. All right. Looks like we have a nice mix of new folks who have attended many webinars, and then folks who have attended a handful. So for those of you who are new, welcome. We hope you learn a lot. For those of you who have attended before, we hope this helps add some more tools to your tool belt in terms of ways that you can help your service members and learn more about the program. As I mentioned before, so the OASC is basically, it is the work of many people, not just one person or one company. So DANTES is Petersons' partner in creating the online academic skills course. And Petersons is more than just Farah and I that you see here. We have over 70 employees worldwide that are editors, instructional designers, all of our great folks in IT, so really it's a team effort to produce these products and services. And then of course, none of this would be possible without our service members. They are who we design for. And our goal is to make this program as as useful and helpful as possible for them when they are looking to either refresh academic skills, build new academic skills, or basically just learn for their own personal development. A couple of things that we're going to cover today. So we're going to talk about the purpose of OASC. So set some parameters on the course in terms of why we've created it, what some of the main goals are. The specific topic for this webinar is how OASC builds resilience. So what features and what content are available within the course that will help service members build resilience. E-learning and resilience. How do you incorporate resilience within an online platform? E-learning readiness. And we're going to mention some of those resources and features that we have within the course. And then, of course, answer any questions that anyone online may have. So the purpose of OASC. So OASC is a comprehensive online course designed to build skills that will aid service members in their military careers and beyond. The subject areas that we cover are English, math, and science. In terms of the difficulty level of this content, we are looking at high school and maybe introductory college level. So this is not a course for folks that are looking to do postgraduate studies. This is our we want to shore up high school level knowledge and also help folks get ready for college level coursework. Again, we cover math, English, and science. Unfortunately, we're not covering things like foreign language or cybersecurity or other technical aspects. Let's watch the video.
Petersons' new and improved academic skills training features an enhanced user experience, additional content, and exciting interactive lessons, making it easier than ever to do your best on the AFCT or other standardized exams. Do standardized tests make you sweat? Petersons helps you with test-taking strategies, study tips, and general organizational skills. And for the first time, service members will have access to My Academic Predictor, or MAP, a predictive tool that simulates how test takers will perform on the AFCT. Administrators have access to reporting tools, monthly webinars, and marketing materials, all designed to explain the program and help you guide service members toward their goals. Don't worry, all this is still free for all active service members and their families. Head to dantes.petersons.com to start your free academic skills training today.
Fantastic. I think that provides a great synopsis of what is provided in the course. And we're going to talk in more depth about some of those features. But right now, I'd like to actually pass it off to my colleague, Farah Winters, to talk a little bit more about resilience.
Hello, everyone. Thanks, everyone at the comms team. Thank you, Elizabeth, for sending it off for me and starting our presentation off very well. Appreciate that. So let's talk a little bit about resilience. First, let's define resilience. Resilience is the process and outcome of successfully adapting to difficult or challenging life experiences, especially through mental, emotional, and behavioral flexibility and adjustment to external and internal demands. And with the OASC, a lot of people are using this academic skills course to remediate some of the skills that maybe they may have lost along the way throughout adulthood. So the OASC helps to build resilience by allowing them to keep going and working towards the goal. So several factors are going to contribute to how well people adapt to adversities. Predominating among them are the ways in which individuals view and engage the world around them. The OASC addresses this with our metacognition modules. Second, the availability and quality of social resources. That is a reference to the ESOs and educational service officers and staff that work with our service members. And then lastly, we have specific coping strategies. Now, psychological research demonstrates that the resources and skills associated with more positive adaptation, which is of course greater resilience, can be cultivated and practiced. Now, all of this can be found at the APA website. So let's narrow it down a little bit. What contributes to resilience? Number one, control of self. Now, learners on the OASC practice control of self by staying continuous with their studies, going back to topics that they didn't quite get the first time around, and using some of our resources and practice tests to work on that. Social support, again, that's our ESOs, that's you guys. Optimism, thinking positively about their situation. The metacognition module addresses that. Ability to solve a problem. Now, sometimes the ability to solve a problem, we need to ask for help. We also have our free tutoring services that service officers can use whenever they need to help build up their resilience through their academic studies. We also have emotional awareness. That's metacognition, thinking about one's own thinking can help elevate one's emotional awareness. Then we have self-belief. It's believing that one can continue through the strife that is in their way. And of course, a sense of humor. Be able to laugh at yourself when you mess up and be able to keep going. So I found this resilience quote by Theodore Roosevelt. It is hard to fail, but it is worse never to have tried to succeed. Because without trying, you'll never know whether or not, or what you need to work on to succeed in the next go around. Because at first you don't succeed, you try again. So how the OASC builds resilience. We offer skills and strategies for self-learner modules. This module precedes the coursework. The OASC delivers tools for building resilience in this module. There, they will explore different approaches to learning. They're going to identify personal learning styles, whether or not they want to change them. So they'll decide what type of learner they want to be in this module to help build up their resilience throughout the academic skills program. And as I previously mentioned, we have our metacognition module. Let's talk a little bit about what is it? It's thinking about one's own thinking, and it's thinking beyond your thinking. Metacognition is not just what you know, but how you know what you know, and how you can know better to meet your learning goals, which is a key component to resilience. It is not the what, but the how of learning. So with metacognition, it enhances resilience by giving you 3 steps to go by. You're going to plan out what you're going to do. You're going to evaluate that plan. And then you're going to review whether or not it's going to work. So with the OASC, learners in the OASC work together to plan and form a prescriptive learning plan through the analysis of their MAP scores. They evaluate by monitoring their progress throughout the program to better understand how to make progress. In the review stage, learners can revise their performance by evaluating and adapting new behaviors to implement academic performance changes. And these 3 essential steps, of course, are a part of metacognition. So we have a new video to help service members better understand how to obtain and how to find their certificates within the platform. So I'm going to go ahead and show you guys that.
How to earn a certificate in the online academic skills course. Many service members use the online academic skills course with the hopes of earning a certificate. Depending on your branch of service, this certificate may entitle you to tuition assistance or proof of readiness for commissioning programs, officer training, or retaking the AFCT. Are you looking to earn an OASC certificate? If so, start by logging into the software and start by clicking Start Here. After this introduction, you'll need to take the pre-assessments for My Academic Predictor. This is similar to an AFCT exam. In order to obtain a certificate, you must take at least the first 4 pre-assessments. Service members in the Marine Corps are also advised to take the General Science pre-assessment. From here, complete the prescribed study modules before taking the post-assessment. Remember, these may vary by person. For example, a service member who scores well in mathematics on the pre-assessment may see fewer mathematics modules than other students. Now you're ready to take the post-assessments. Here again, you must take the first 4 sections, and those in the Marine Corps should take General Science as well. If your scores indicate that you achieved 80% competency or above on your post-assessment, you've earned your certificate. Great job! To print out your certificates, click on the Certificates tab in the OASC, and under the My Awards, you will see your certificates. Click on the Download tab, then print off your certificate of completion. If you didn't reach 80%, don't give up. Enhance your studying by using new features like free on-demand tutoring or flashcards before you take your post-assessments again. To share your accomplishment, click the Certificates tab and look for the certificate you've earned. Click the Share button at the bottom and create your own link. A unique URL will be provided for you. Click Copy Link to share your certificate anywhere. For technical support, please reach out to support@petersons.com for more assistance.
Now certificates can help service members be more connected and engage in those social support systems that help build resilience by sharing their certificates online on social media, in Facebook groups, so that they can get the support from other service members who are also on their academic skills journey. Now, let's talk about the educator role in building resilience with e-learning. You're going to want to be speedy and consistent with your interactions with your learners. And I know you all are super busy and have lots and lots of service members to attend to, but we want to make sure that we're timely when they have problems. And make sure that we're devoting sufficient time to attend to learner inquiries, concerns, or other uncertainties that arise. Additionally, we want to offer support to learners when they express that they're having difficulties or need help. And one way that we can offer support to learners is to encourage them to use the free tutoring services that are embedded in the program. All right, I'm gonna let Elizabeth come back on and talk about readiness.
Great, thank you, Farah. So readiness, this is, a huge buzzword, as I mentioned before, and especially super important, I know, for our service members. They need to be ready really when they are called on. So this is very important, both within the military and also, it's a huge issue in the civilian life as well. And we're going to talk a little bit about how OASC helps build readiness. Okay, so the model of readiness for self-directed learners looks something like this. And when we're talking about self-directed learners, what I'd like to define here is these are individuals that are not in a formalized class or cohort. So these are folks that are not, coming to a classroom either live or virtual every day on a regular cadence. These are folks who have to manage their own time to learn new skills. So essentially, some of the key components in having readiness are what we see here: self-management. So this is talking about, being able to manage your schedule, your emotions, your workload, and knowing when any of those different factors is putting too much stress on yourself, and how you're going to adjust for that. So that's kind of the next part, is self-monitoring, is knowing all the different things that you have to manage and monitoring how that's working. Also goes back to metacognition, in that if something is not working, how are you going to fix that? What are some of the options that you could do to alleviate some of the stress that you have, or alleviate some of the time conflicts that you have? So understanding what's asked of you or what you're looking to do, and then monitoring how that's going. And then finally, motivation. So, and this can be the toughest part, especially when you don't have that instructor or teacher, encouraging you to keep going. That's one of the benefits of having synchronous learning, is that you usually do have an instructor to kind of keep you in check and keep motivating you. But all those things combined, that's what we're going to get to readiness. And so how does OASC do this? So in OASC, learners basically have the set goal of scoring an 80% or greater on the post assessments to get their certificates or to complete the course. So in some ways, the course itself is actually delineating sort of what these goals are, but that's helpful for students in that they know sort of what the threshold is that they have to achieve. So one is also self-management, but also knowing what they're working toward. Self-monitoring. So self-directed learners can create meaning by integrating new concepts with previously learned concepts. One of the things that's, I think, very helpful about this course is that we are looking to reinforce skills that learners may have encountered in high school, but haven't dealt with for quite some time. So this is providing them with a different way of relearning or interacting with those concepts, and likely in a different modality than they learned them to begin with. So not a classroom setting, online learning tool. And then finally, motivation. OASC encourages self-learners to push forward through rewards and performance threshold prompts. So what I mean there is we're actually utilizing the technology here, and giving people some encouragement and motivation to keep going at the right points. So some of those things might be, if a learner did not achieve a certain score on a quiz within the course, rather than just let that pass, let it slide and not say anything, we have created triggers within the course so that learners get motivational prompts that encourage them to persevere, to keep going, also encourages them to try to go back and try again, essentially. And here are some additional tools if you're not getting a specific concept. I should also mention that in our app, we have in-app notifications that help with motivation in terms of reminders. Those will pop up usually, a couple times a month, just encouraging folks to keep going. It's a great way to keep educational goals at the top of their minds. So an e-learning readiness checklist. So can everybody do online learning? The answer is no. Can everyone get there? Yes. But before you start a program, it's important to have a couple things so you're ready to go. One is computer self-efficacy. So do you feel comfortable using a desktop computer or tablet? Do you feel like you know how to use the software in a way that you're not just spending your whole time trying to figure out where you are? Also, internet self-efficacy. Making sure that you have access to reliable Wi-Fi so that your course won't time out in the middle of a test. Online self-efficacy, and that has kind of less prevalence here, but also for if you're taking an online course at a college or university, do you know sort of how to conduct yourself online? What things are appropriate to say, what things are inappropriate to say, how will you interact with your instructors and your class cohorts in a way that will serve you and serve them. Self-directed learning, we mentioned that. Do you have the understanding of how you are going to move forward in this course? What is required of you in terms of your schedule, your motivation, to make this an effective course? Learner control, also understanding that you have control within this process. And that goes back to self-monitoring. So you have control. If something is not working, how could you fix it? How could you ask for help? Understanding that you are in control. And then also motivation toward e-learning. And this has to do with understanding that we really have to set aside time and know that no one is going to make us do this, that the motivation has to come from inside. And things like, the courseware with, in-app notifications and motivational prompts, that will definitely help. We have to have some intrinsic motivation as well. So resources and features. I'm going to hand this back over to Farah.
All right, so we have our many resources and features to help our service members. We have several vehicles of instruction for our academic skills course for learners. There's lessons, videos. We're continuously adding new videos per the requests of some of the service members in our post-course survey. We have flashcards, we have formula sheets, interactives, quizzes, assessments, which are practice tests. Not only do we have regular practice tests for the ASVAB, we also have ESL practice tests. The OASC is offered in several modalities. We have the online platform. We also have the mobile app, which has online and offline capability. And what that means is if you download the app, you can also download the coursework, the study packs on there, so you don't have to have internet access to access the content on the app. Some other features that we have are our academic help desk. We have our free on-demand tutoring services, additional videos, our electronics module, and of course the My Academic Predictor. All right, and here's our brand new video on our free on-demand tutoring services. This has been embedded in the platform for learners, and it's also on the educator side as well. So let's take a look.
How to use live on-demand tutoring in the online academic skills course. Join your fellow service members already using free live on-demand tutoring in the OASC to get the help they need to achieve their goals. The OASC live tutoring focuses on specific concepts and questions to ensure success in a particular area of study. Are you looking for a little extra help while studying for the AFCT or getting your OASC certificate? If so, start by logging into the OASC. If you've never used OASC before, you'll need to complete the Introduction module, at least the first 4 pre-assessment sections, and the Skills and Strategies for Self-Learning module. Now you're ready to click the Live Tutoring tab. It is recommended to have a specific question in a subject area ready to get connected with an experienced tutor. To connect with a tutor, click the Get Started button. You will be met by a Connect with the Live Tutor button where you will specify the subject area that your submitted problem relates to. From here, type in the exact question with as much detail as possible. The more questions and advice you ask, the better the help your tutor can provide. Most learners are connected with a tutor in 27 seconds on average. And since the live on-demand tutoring is free, you may connect with as many tutors with as many questions as it takes to get the score you want. Spanish-speaking tutors are usually available upon request. For example, you may want to ask your tutor, I am having trouble understanding scientific notation. I would like to work through some multiple choice practice problems with the tutor. Now you're ready to get the help you need. Tutors average a score of 4.85 out of 5 and are committed to providing you with all the tools you need to get the score you want, generally spending 44 minutes each lesson on average. Once you feel like you have mastered the material from the tutoring session, you are ready to practice on your own, whether using OASC or another educational tool. Connect with another tutor and master as many subjects as you need to reach your goals. For technical support, please reach out to support@petersons.com for more assistance.
And of course, we want to encourage service members to use this service to build their resilience within their academic skills, and hopefully that will carry over into their life skills as well. So we also have this other brand new video that talks about the OASC's mini practice tests and extra resources for enhancing study.
How to navigate practice tests and additional resources in the online academic skills course. It's true, practice is the best preparation. Petersons' online academic skills course provides ample amounts of instructional lessons, videos, and yes, practice. While the course includes a full pre-assessment and post-assessment along with quizzes throughout, many service members desire even more opportunities for practice. We've got you covered. If you've never used OASC before, you'll need to register and then complete the Introduction module, Skills and Strategies for Self-Learning module, and at least the first 4 pre-assessment sections. Once completed, scroll to the bottom to click Practice Tests. There are practice tests for both ASVAB and SAT, with 2 versions for ASVAB and 3 versions for SAT. You may take all versions of practice exams and retake them as many times as you would like. Don't forget these other study tools. Click on the Additional Resources tab for vocabulary flashcards, math formula sheets, and other practice materials. For service members seeking ESL help, there are 3 different English language usage for ESL practice exams. Again, you may take all versions and retake the practice exam as many times as you would like. Once you feel confident after mastering the practice exams, you're ready to tackle the post-assessment. Remember, you must reach 80% correct on the first 4 sections to earn a certificate. If you didn't reach 80%, don't give up. Go back to the Additional Resources tab and work through the resources before retaking the practice exams to ensure you've covered the materials you need to succeed. For technical support, please reach out to support@petersons.com for more assistance.
Even within our new videos, you can see that we're doing our best to instill resilience within our service members by encouraging them to keep trying, even if they're having difficulty. So for our educators and our administrators, we have our course admin. Within the course admin account, ESOs and educators can view the learner's class progress, they can analyze their grades in the grade book, and they can take the educator course, which I hope that some of you have taken already. But let's talk about what you're going to find in the educator course. First, you're going to have your introduction module. You'll receive a warm welcome and be informed of the learning objectives of the OASC. the technical requirements needed for using the OASC, and an overview of the OASC, and that will include a video. Your second module will be your learner experience. This will show you the learner registration and access process. Then you will also see how to navigate through the course, get an explanation of the OASC adaptive user flow, and My Academic Predictor, which is also known as MAP. You'll also learn about the different certificate pathways. The video that I showed a couple of slides ago will be included there. And you'll also get the OASC additional features and resources video. And in the third module, the Educator Admin Experience module will help you all understand the admin registration and access experience better. How to navigate through the course, how to access MAP scores, and also how to gather other counselor resources, which are the marketing materials that you can find at our administrative resource form. And then lastly, there's a very short end of course quiz. This will give you all a knowledge check of the information that you all have learned throughout the previous 3 modules. Okay, and just to recap how to get to the administrative resource form, you go to dantes.petersons.com, you're going to scroll down, click, and that's going to take you to our print order form. You'll fill it in, submit your request for one of these 3 prints. Here's a more close-up view of all the designs that we have available for you all. Now we're going to open it up for some Q&A with Elizabeth. You all can put your questions in the chat and we will try and address them from there. Thank you all.
Happy to take questions, comments, requests.
Elizabeth, if anyone would like to unmute themselves, please raise their hand and I'll go ahead and adjust your audio to allow you to do so. So we'll give it just a moment. I'll keep an eye out for that, please.
And also feel free to type it in the chat.
Ms. Browning, I went ahead and adjusted your audio. If you'd like to go ahead and unmute and ask your question.
Okay, can you hear me now?
Yes, ma'am.
Wonderful. I typed a message about 10 minutes ago, so I'm not sure if maybe it's not appearing for everybody to view, but I do have a question regarding the resources that soldiers have when they create an account, how they have access to flashcards and interactives, you know, and all that those great resources. But as an admin, do we have access to kind of, I don't know, acquire some of the same access that the soldiers have if we want to, you know, use some of those resources to create our own flashcards if we're doing any in-person training?
Okay, good question. Thank you, Anne. So as I mentioned in the chat, so 2 things. I did mention in the chat that administrators can use those tools. They can toggle from an admin view to a student view so that they can see what the student sees. However, those resources are not, and so you could use them in, you know, in an in-person setting if you were working with a student one-on-one. However, they're not available to sort of take those resources out of the system parameters.
Out of the system.
Yeah.
That's kind of what I
Okay.
wondered, if there was any opportunity to actually export them and take them, you know, out of being dual, you know, into the OSAC website. So, okay, no, that's totally understandable. And I at least I know that I could just switch between my roles and still access the same resources. I just won't be able to leave the system with them. No, that answers my question thoroughly. Thank you, ma'am.
Okay, thank you. I'll also just add one thing onto that in terms of the tools and resources. So we have the course is prescriptive in terms of we provide, you know, recommended learning based on pre-assessments so that students receive information in the, you know, the subject areas that they need to shore up, but they don't have to do additional learning in areas where they're already proficient. The additional resources and tools like the are actually available to everyone. So we put those are sort of, that module is opened up for everyone, regardless of performance, because we just feel it's really important to just have those extra resources available. So sometimes if you're an administrator, you might have a student that, you know, they didn't have a particular interactive activity, and that's probably because they have already shown proficiency in that skill. But all those flashcards and extra practice tests, those are always available to everyone. That module's open for whomever wants to do additional learning.